Good morning, students. We have already studied our first lesson, that is nutrition in plants, and we have also completed the notes of the first lesson. And today we are going to start our next lesson, that is lesson 2, and it is nutrition in animals. Okay, so we have learned in the first lesson that plants prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis. We have already studied what is photosynthesis, but animals cannot. Plants are having chlorophyll in the leaves of the plant, and that's why they can perform the process of photosynthesis, but animals don't have such kind of chlorophyll, so animals cannot prepare their own food. Animals get their food from plants either directly by eating plants or indirectly by eating animals that eat plants. Some animals eat both plants and animals. We have seen the organisms including humans require food for the growth, repair and functioning of the body. We know that we all need food to grow and food for the functioning of our different body systems. Animal nutrition includes nutrient requirement, mode of intake of food and its utilization in the body. We have studied in the last standard that food consists of many components. So, do you remember which components are these? Components means the nutrients. Different foods consist of different nutrients. They could be carbohydrates, proteins, fats, minerals, etc. The components of food such as carbohydrates are complex substances. These complex substances cannot be utilized as it is. So, they are broken down into simpler substances, and the breakdown of complex components of the food into simpler substances is called digestion. We know that when we eat food, it is being digested in our body by our digestive system. So what is actually the digestion means? Digestion means to break down the complex components of food into the simple substance. Now here we are going to see the next topic, that is the different ways of taking food. How we are taking food? We are having our mouth. In that mouth we are having tongue, teeth, saliva present. So using this we intake our food. The mode of taking food into the body varies in different organisms. It varies in human beings, it varies in insects, it varies in animals. Bees and hummingbird. We have seen bees, honeybees, hummingbird. What is their food? Their food is the nectar of the flower. They suck the nectar of the plants, infants of human and many other animals feed on mother's milk. We have seen that the newborn baby take mother's milk as a food. Then snakes like the python swallow the animals they prey upon. Prey means their food. They hunt other animals and use them as their food. Some aquatic animals filter tiny food particles floating nearby and feed upon them. Aquatic animals like fish, what they does, they filter tiny food particles floating nearby and feed upon that particles. Now here the activity is there in which a table is shown. In that some names of the animals are given and their various modes of feeding. First is snail. So what kind of food a snail takes? It takes leaf and insect. What is the mode of feeding? Scraping. They scrap the leaf and they scrap the insect. Next is ant. We have seen that on sweet things or the grains the ant comes. So what is the food of the ant? The particles of sugar, flour or grains. And how they take food? By chewing. Eagle feed upon rat, birds. They are their prey. They feed with the mode of capturing. Hummingbird, as we have already seen, hummingbirds suck the nectar. So the nectar, insects are their food and the mode of feeding is sucking. Like only the different animals are given and they are having different kind of food for eating and the different mode of feeding. Here the starfish is shown. The starfish feeds on animals covered by hard shells of calcium carbonate. After opening the shell, the starfish pops out its stomach through its mouth to eat the soft animals inside the shell. The stomach then goes back into the body and the food is slowly digested. Now there we have seen the digestion process or the food intaking process in different animals, and now we are going to study the next topic, that is digestion in humans, that is digestion in us. How we are taking food, what are the mode of taking food, what kind of food we are taking and how it is being digested in our body. Here you can see that our digestive system, the different organs in which are responsible to carry the digestion process are shown over here. Okay, so we'll continue with this digestion in humans. We take in food through the mouth. Yes, with the hand we pick the food and we take it and keep it in our mouth, digest and utilize it. The unused parts of the food are defecated. Have you ever wondered what happens to the food inside the body? Okay, so the food passes through a continuous canal which begins at the buccal cavity. You can see here, this is the buccal cavity where our teeth, tongues are present, and this is the canal, what it is known as canal. Next, the canal can be divided into various compartments, that is the first is the buccal cavity. Buccal cavity means we can say our jaw or where we are keeping our food. Next is food pipe or esophagus. This after this buccal cavity is joined to one pipe which is known as the food pipe. Then the next is stomach. This is what known as stomach. From the food pipe, the food enters into the stomach. Then after there is a small intestine and this is small intestine and this is large intestine, ending in the rectum, and this is what known as rectum. And the anus. It is not a very long path. This, is it not a very long path? Is it? Because there are so many organs involved in the digestive system. These parts together form the alimentary canal, or it is also known as digestive tract. The food components gradually get digested as food travels through the various compartments. The inner walls of the stomach and the small intestine and the various glands associated with the canal, such as salivary gland, the liver and the pancreas. The salivary gland means actually which produces the saliva in our mouth, that is known as salivary gland. the liver is present over here besides the stomach, and pancreas, which you can see below the stomach, secretes the digestive juices. What are the work of these glands? The salivary gland, liver and pancreas secretes the digestive juices which helps to digest the food. The digestive juices convert complex substances of food into simpler one. The digestive tract and the associated glands together constitute the digestive system. Now let us know what happens to the food in different parts of the digestive tract. What is our first organ in the digestive system? That is the mouth. Here it is shown, or the buccal cavity. The food is taken into the body through the mouth, and the process of taking food into the body is called ingestion. As we are taking in our food, the process is known as ingestion. We chew the food with the teeth and break it down mechanically into small pieces. Whatever we are taking into the mouth is bigger, but as we are taking it into the mouth, there it present teeth. And what this teeth does, it helps to break down the particles into small pieces. Each tooth is rooted in a separate socket in the gums. You can see the skinny part outside the teeth, and that is known as gum. This part, the skinny part, is known as gum. Our teeth vary in appearance and perform different appearance functions. Accordingly, they are given with the different names. Here, do you know how many total teeth are present in an adult body? It is 32. So here the lower jaw is shown. The lower jaw contains total 16 teeth, and the upper jaw contains another 16 teeth. Here the arrangement of teeth and their function is given. There are 4 different types of teeth present in our mouth. That is the molar. Molar means the last teeth. 3 teeth both the side are known as molar. Then premolar. Then after the molar it comes premolar. Then there are canines. There are 2 sharp teeth which are known as canines, and incisor. The front 4 teeth are known as incisor. Now we will see the milk teeth and the permanent teeth. We all have faced the phase of falling the teeth some years ago, or you may be facing this now also. What that fallen teeth known as? They are termed as the milk teeth, and on the place of that milk teeth another teeth comes, and these teeth are known as permanent teeth. The permanent teeth may last throughout life or fall off during old age or due to some dental diseases. Now, which one for piercing and tearing? Also find out ones that are used for chewing and grinding. You all have felt that the different tooth in our mouth act for the different functions. Some are used for tearing or piercing, some we are using for chewing, some are for the grinding, and it is to be recorded in this table. Cutting and biting. Cutting and biting, by using which teeth you are cutting or you are biting, by which teeth you are piercing and tearing, and by using which chewing and grinding. Normally the chewing and grinding is done by this molar and premolar teeth. Piercing and tearing by this canines, and cutting and beating by this incisors. So you have to calculate and you have to make a total. It will be given. Now the next is activity given, that take two test tubes, label them as A and B. In a test tube A, put 1 teaspoonful of boiled rice, and in another one boiled and chewed rice. So in test tube B, keep 1 teaspoonful boiled and rice after chewing it for 3 to 5 minutes. Then add 3 to 4 ml of water in both the test tubes. Now pour 2-3 drops of iodine solution in each test tube and observe. Why is there a change in a color in the test tubes? Discuss the results with your classmates, or we will discuss this. Here you can see that 2 test tubes are shown. In the first only boiled rice is given, and in the second the boiled and chewed rice is taken. We have added 3 to 4 drops of iodine in both the test tubes, and you can see the difference in the color. So the saliva breaks down the starch into the sugar. The tongue is a fleshy muscular organ attached at the back to the floor of the buccal cavity. It is free at the front and can be moved in all the directions. Just do it. Can you move your tongue in all the directions? Yes, we can move our tongue up, down, side, everywhere. Do you know the functions of the tongue? Yes, we use our tongue for talking. Besides, it mixes saliva with the food during chewing and helps in swallowing food. Can you talk by holding your tongue in your finger? No. If our tongue is free, then only we can talk properly. It has a taste buds that detect different tastes of the food. Which different taste you have tasted? We know the salty, sweet, sour and bitter taste. And on our tongue there are different regions. Here you can see, which helps us to detect the different tastes. So here another thing is given, that is the sweets and the tooth decay. What is tooth decay? The acid present in our mouth damage the teeth, and that is known as tooth decay. The chocolates, sweets, soft drinks, other sugar products are the major culprits of tooth decay. Okay, here you can see a tongue is shown and the regions of the tongue for different taste. You can see that the tip of the tongue, this tip of the tongue helps us to understand the taste which is sweeter. Whatever the sweet things are there or sweet food, this region of the tongue helps us to understand the sweeter taste. Then next to that another region is there of the tongue. This helps us to understand the salty taste. After salty there is another region which helps us to understand the sour taste. And at the end of the tongue or very last there is the region which helps us to understand the bitter taste of the food. Now there is one activity that you have to take different samples of food containing different tastes like sweet, salty, then sour and bitter. Just blindfold one of your friend and keep all these different food at the different regions of the tongue and help them, or just see that is your friend able to find the taste of the food or not. The next is the food pipe or the esophagus. After mouth or after buccal cavity, the food is inserted into the food pipe, or which is the food pipe is also known as esophagus. The swallowed food passes into the food pipe or esophagus. The food pipe run along the neck. Here the food is there. This is esophagus, and the esophagus is connected to the stomach. The movement of the food in the esophagus of the alimentary canal. Food is pushed down by the movement of the wall of the food pipe. Actually, this movement takes throughout the alimentary canal and pushes the food downwards. At times, the food is not accepted by your stomach and is vomited out. How the food is inserted through this food pipe? Whatever the walls of the food pipe are present, push that food downwards, and if at that time the food is not accepted by the stomach, you feel vomiting. Recall the instances when you vomited after eating and think of the reason for it. Sometimes we are full and then too we eat and our stomach is not ready to accept the food. At that time we feel vomiting. The next is stomach. After the buccal cavity there is food pipe, and from the food pipe the food enters into the stomach. The stomach is a thick walled bag. You can see that it is a bag like structure. So this is what a thick walled bag. Its shape is like a flattened U and it is the widest part of the alimentary canal. It receives food from the food pipe at one end and opens into a small intestines at the other end. The food pipe is, the stomach is having two openings, from where it takes the food from the food pipe and from where it push the food to the small intestine. The inner lining of the stomach secretes mucus, hydrochloric acid and digestive juices. The mucus protects the lining of the stomach. The acid kills many bacteria that enter along with the food and makes the medium in the stomach acidic and helps the digestive juices to act. The digestive juices breaks down the proteins into simpler substances. Whatever the digestive juices are present in the stomach, it helps to break down the food or the protein present in the food into simple substances. Now the next is small intestine. The small intestine is highly coiled and is about 7.5 meter long. It receives secretions from the liver and the pancreas. Besides, its wall also secretes juices. The small intestine receives secretions from the liver and the pancreas, and the small intestine itself also secrete juices. The liver is a reddish brown gland situated in the upper part of the abdomen on the right side. Here you can see this is liver. This is what the reddish in color, and where it is situated at the upper to the abdomen. It is the largest gland in the body. The liver is the largest gland in the body. It secretes which juice? The bile juice that is stored in a sac called gallbladder. The bile plays an important role in the digestion of fat. The fat is digested with the help of this bile juice. The pancreas is a large cream-colored gland located just below the stomach. Pancreatic juice acts on carbohydrates, fats and proteins and changes them into simple form. The partly digested food now reaches the lower part of the small intestine, where the intestinal juice completes the digestion of all components. The carbohydrate get broken into simple sugar such as glucose, fats into fatty acids and glycerol, and proteins into amino acids. So here, up to here only we will see in this lecture, and the next topic will continue in the next lecture. Now we will see that what we have seen today. We have seen the introduction of the nutrition in animal. Then we have studied different ways of taking food. We have also studied different animals, their kind of food and mode of feeding. Then what is digestion, how digestion in human is done, what are the organs involved in the digestive system, what is the diagrammatical representation of the digestive system, then what is milk teeth, what is permanent teeth, what are the different types of teeth present in our mouth, what are their functions, which teeth are responsible for cutting and biting, piercing and tearing, chewing and grinding. Then next we have seen what is tooth decay, what is saliva, how saliva helps the food to digest easily. We have seen about the tongue, how different tastes are being identified by different regions of the tongue. Then we have studied food pipe or esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, which are the juices secreted by different organs, which juices break which type of component, that is also done in this topic, and the next topics we will see in the next lecture. Thank you.